Hello and half a day everyone. Today on Cooking in Pink Boots, I am making Riyenu Chamorro stuffing dish served on the holidays side by side our turkey, ham, roast pig. And today I'm going to show you how I make it. Let's start off by setting that oven to 350. Then having a nice clean baking sheet ready. Here I have my loaf of bread. Go ahead and just cut them into little cubes. I have to do this in a couple of batches because you want them in a single layer. Okay, and now that I got all my bread cubed, go ahead and drizzle a little bit of olive oil over. Season it with a little bit of salt, some onion powder, garlic powder. Now I'm gonna bake this in the oven at 350 and I'm gonna toss it somewhere in between my 10 to 12 minute mark. Let's pull this one out after 5 minutes, tossing it around a little bit and back in. All my breadcrumbs or my croutons, they are done. Put them into a Ziploc bag until I'm going to use it. Chamorro style stuffing or Riyenu, we use potatoes. So we're going to start off with peeling the potatoes. I am peeling my potatoes and putting them in water to keep them from browning. Now I'm going to cut these into cubes. I'm gonna start off cutting like that. It makes it so much easier. And then to have a flat side, cut them in thirds, and then about a 1/2 inch. So I'm gonna take my potatoes, and as long as it's in the cold water, it will not brown on you. Now just to finish up the rest of these potatoes, I'm gonna dice my onions. My celery. And garlic. All right. Now it's time to brown the ground beef, and I'm just seasoning it with some salt, pepper, garlic, and onion powder. And once that's fully cooked, straining the oil and returning the pan back to the stove, and add 2 tablespoons of butter. In goes my onion, celery, and you can throw the garlic in there too. Tap it with salt and pepper. Once your onions and celery is nice and tender, you can go ahead and add the ground beef right back into the pan. Now back to the potatoes. Now be sure you pat them down dry before putting them into the oil. Also cook them in small batches. Overcrowding your pot could lead to your potatoes being all mushy. We want them tender but crisp. Here's my ground beef. I want it to cool just a little bit. We have potatoes. The potatoes had just come out from the fryer, so it's the best time to season it with a little bit of salt and a little bit of black pepper. Let's give it a toss. You don't want to really mix it. You don't want to break up those potatoes. Now, I'm about to put in the rest of my ingredients, starting off with my relish. Okay, since I'm not going to use this jar anymore, I'm going to go ahead and put a hole right in the top. And open it just like that. Through a sieve, I'm going to sieve this over the sink. My roasted pimentos, my chopped olives. You can use sliced, you can mix it up. This goes in. A little bit more black pepper. So don't be afraid to give it a little taste and see what it needs. Now, I don't have the croutons in yet, but I did pre-season my croutons, so we don't have to worry about that. And ketchup, that is our secret ingredient. And I'm only gonna put like maybe a 1/4 cup, not too much. But you're gonna see how that balances this out. And by the way, it's not gonna taste like ketchup. Do another taste. Oh, geez. Now with those seasoned croutons, go ahead and just place them in. All right, now just toss that together. Next, evaporated milk. Now I would give you a measurement, but you're just gonna look out for, you want it to be moist. I have some leftover evaporated milk from one of my desserts. More of that milk to make about 1.5 cans. Now just gently toss all the ingredients together until they're well combined. Time to generously butter our baking dish. Now I'm using a 9 by 13 baking dish, but this makes more than that. So you can either use a larger baking dish or you can store the rest in the freezer. Simply prepare it in your baking dish, seal it up tightly, and freeze it. And within the next 3 months, just thaw and bake. All right, now after filling my 9x13 baking dish, I'm creating a little well in the center where I'm gonna place a loaf pan and bake it. I'm creating a mold for my 6-pound cooked turkey breast. Now into the oven at 350 degrees. And after 55 minutes in the oven, this is what we got. A golden, delicious stuffing. Guys, this is our chamorro relleno. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. Sizos Maasi.